Hello, it's Dr. Darnice, and I am doing a new thing, a blog, a walk around with me in my neighborhood kind of thing from Savannah, Georgia. Y'all know we just had a hurricane. We had Helene, tropical storm, and also Milton. So I'm in the back area of my neighborhood, and you can just kind of see maybe you can't. There's a lot of debris along the sides of the road. Traffic noises, yeah, not too much traffic back here. This is the back side of my neighborhood. So, and this is what, like about noon that I'm doing this. So, um, yeah, I just want to come on and talk about moving, making big changes when you are over 50, when you are over 40. Y'all know I wrote the book, 40 something, and available on Amazon. And I'm a life coach to Black women over 40. And I just thought I would, because I come out here and do a walk regularly, a jog, sometimes a slow jog, but my knee's not having it right now. So anyway, here's some more images of like people having to clean up the debris after the storm, which is not bad now, not bad. It was really like all of this where we're going. All of this was completely covered in debris and tree branches. It was really a mess. This area gets flooded. As you can see, it's a little, well, you may not be able to see it yet, a little dip down there, a slight downhill dip. And that's flooded. Yeah. And it's next to some woods that's all swamp-like. But anyway, people get to a point in life, women get to a point in life where we say, okay, what's next for me? Like if you've raised your children, they're grown, if you've, gotten maybe divorced or some major life change has happened, job shift, or you retire early, something like this happens, and you're like, what's next? And one of the things you might be considering is moving. Where have you always wanted to go? Some women, there's a lot of women on YouTube talking about moving abroad, right? Some black women who are single and they make videos about, moving to Mexico or Portugal or wherever. Well, you may or may not be considering going there, but if you're going to make a big move, here are some things that I suggest. I moved from LA to Savannah, Georgia, about a year ago, and I'm happy with the move. And I just thought I'd share some things like what should you know? What should you think about before and in your first year when you get there? So not all that in this one video, but I'll be coming back with more. So here's a wooded area. I live in what I call the rural burbs outside of Savannah. The rural burb, like it's suburban. Look, see, it's suburban. And it's rural at the same time. And the whole area is like this. And every time I walk through here, this is the big city person in me because I spent many years in New York also. I always think, is something going to jump out of these woods? I always think about that as I'm going by. You see, there's still a lot of clutter on the ground, debris and stuff that got kind of pushed out of these woods. Ooh, what am I stepping on? Anyway, some things that you should really consider if you want to make a big move, like moving across the country. I was ready to leave LA. I was ready to leave a big city. I lived in big cities all my adult life, as I said. I'm from Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, and I lived in New York. I lived in Northern California. I lived in Southern California. And I don't really need big city life anymore. So I decided to move to Savannah. Why? People always say, oh, you're moving to Atlanta. No, I did not say I'm moving to Atlanta. Oh, you're moving to Atlanta. No, I'm not moving to Atlanta. I'm moving to Savannah. It's a small city, and I want it to be in a smaller city. I want it to be in a smaller city. And Savannah is very beautiful. It's a coastal Georgia city, which I realize more and more because of these storms, the tropical storms and hurricanes. And so you really have to think about, okay, if I'm thinking of moving someplace, what is it like 24/7 there? What is it like 365 there? What are the weather patterns? What is the social life like? It's one thing to come and visit for vacation, which I did for probably 3 years. You can see maybe this kind of area, this open area in this woods. It was not open before the storm, right? All of this debris got kind of knocked down, pushed away, what we want to say. I think it's Mother Nature's way of getting rid of a lot of, kind of dead foliage, dead trees. Mother Nature just comes and washes them away. So the other side of the street is this. So remember I said it's the rural burbs because there's the suburban kind of homes. And then, we come down here and it's the woods. But anyway, I came to Savannah a few years in a row. But, I was a tourist. And so it's one thing to come and be a tourist someplace. But when you talk about living there, you got to really consider other things like quality of life, cost of living. What are your usual things that you like to do? Can you find that there? Are you going to be disappointed if you can't find that there? So anyway, to just give a couple tips, and I'll make a couple more videos around this kind of things. But you might want to think about, can you find what you consider to be normal? Here we are in the swamp, y'all. Can you find what you consider to be normal, the places that you like to go, the kind of people that you like to interact with? I'm in the South now, and that's a very big difference from being in Los Angeles. I'm in the South, and so you got to think about that. So all of this was not as open as it is. There used to be trees and stuff here that got blown away from Helene. Really from Helene. We didn't get so much from Milton, but this was all wow. This is Mother Nature. Mother Nature don't play. Anyway, I'm hoping that you're getting some tips as I take you on this walk with me. But yeah, because there's a thing, you might feel isolated when you get to a new place because you don't have your friends, you don't have your family group, and then you don't know where to go. So you do have to be, I think, a person who's willing to get out and explore things on your own. You have to be willing to, go places, go restaurants and have, a meal by yourself, or go, to places that you like and hang out by yourself and be open to meeting people. People here in the South, there isn't such a thing as Southern hospitality, and people do invite you into conversations, and so are you that kind of person, or are you going to go sit in a coffee shop and just keep looking at your screen? You're not going to really meet people like that. So you got to think about how open you are to that, and make new connections. Otherwise you'll be lonely, you'll feel isolated, and then when things happen like a storm and you lose electricity for several days, you're like, oh, who do I go to? How do I survive this? And so you need to know that. You need to think about your money and your work life. I think I'll come back and talk about that in the next video after that. How do you make the money? How do you make that work financially? So let me know what you might be thinking of in terms of making big changes. What is on your mind for how you make those changes in life? Hope you have enjoyed this little walk around the rural burbs of Savannah, Georgia with me. I'll be back for more.